What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Have not uploaded in a while, but you know what? Let's go ahead and just kick it off straight. What you see is what you'll get. This is going to be a kind of in-depth review on two firearms that are pretty similar, honestly, in my view. And hopefully this will make an easier decision for some of you that's, on the fence between which one you want to get. So in front of me, is a Glock 43X MOS version. And so this is the left. And on the right side, this is a Gen 5 Glock 19. So I'm going to go ahead for all of you out there and safety check these weapons. They're both clear. Before we dive into anything, they're both clear. So right off the bat, we have two 9mm pistols, okay? Not only that, we had two Glocks, two MOS Glocks, two front rail Glocks, 19mm, similar capacity, but not similar capacity. And I'll go through that here in a second. Well, let's just go ahead and say it. Your Glock 43X standard capacity MOS, this one right here, is 10. I'm not going to get into the argument, but for me, 10 rounds for an everyday carry pistol. And when I say everyday carry, I mean this is everywhere with me. This is going in my nightstand. I mean, this is truly an everyday, in my opinion, carry. And I wanted this to be my everyday carry. I wanted this to be a fun range gun, and I'll get into that later. But this is a standard 43X MOS. So on the gun, the only modifications are the TLR7 sub, okay, and the Riton optics red dot. Okay, keep in mind this is a little dirty because I have carried it and I haven't really cleaned it, so that's one negative about the reticles emitters there, but we'll get into that later. No other modifications except for the big one, is going to be the Palmetto State Armory micro dagger 15-round magazine. Game changer, in my opinion, for the 43X as well as the 48. 15 rounds in the same footprint as a regular 43X magazine. There's no difference as far as the length and what sticks out. And the PSA 15 rounder and the OEM 10 rounder magazine. Okay. The plus on these is you don't have to swap out your magazine thumb release, because what Palmetto State Armory did is, this is metal on the back, but it's got a polymer on the front, and this will not chew up your magazine release. Okay. Game changer on the 43X and 48, because what that does is it pretty much brings you into your Glock 19 territory. Same capacity as a Glock 19, except for it's thinner and it's smaller footprint. Now, there's pros and cons to that, but that's the 43X MOS as it stands. Only upgrade is a 15 rounder, TLR7 sub, and the Riton optic. Okay. Moving past that to my Gen 5 MOS Glock 19 TLR7A. I did add a magwell to it, Strike Industries magwell, and I do have a SCS coming for my optic. I went with the SCS because you're able to co-witness with your iron sights and it just sits lower. I'll get into a whole nother video of that, but ideally these are going to be two similar setup pistols. 15 round OEM magazine. So what am I saying here? Well, these guns are similar capacity. They're pretty much the same. I mean, I'm going to show you here, compare them side by side, everything, but looking at these two, if you look at that, okay, that's pretty dang similar. The slide on the 43X obviously is thinner. The length on the slide for the 19 obviously is longer. The 19X is a thicker gun, okay? It's a bigger, thicker gun. No doubt about it, it is. And you will feel it whenever you're trying to conceal carry. Not everyone will, but you will. I'm not a very big guy. I don't wear very baggy clothing, so I don't wear tight clothing either, but there's a difference when I'm carrying these two. Now, you're going to ask yourself, which way do I go? And I struggle with this to this day. And the only way I can put it is your 43X is a smaller gun, conceal carry, 15 rounds. I mean, you can pretty much put this on you, even the way it's equipped right now, and I don't really feel it on me. I feel it, but I don't really. The only negative, and there's probably more, but I'm just hear me out here, is the recoil. Now, a lot of you are going to say, oh, you're just not holding it right. You're just not used to shooting guns. I'm used to shooting guns. I'm holding it right. The fact of the matter is, and if you want to deny it, you can. I'm not here to argue with you. This is just my input. The 43X, shooting it is a lot snappier than my Glock 19. Hands down, I can feel it all day, every day. It doesn't matter. I can be blindfolded and I can shoot the two. I mean, obviously you're going to be able to tell a difference when you hold them, but there is more recoil in my 43X than there is in the 19. To a point of, I feel like the Glock 19X, shooting it, it's not a dream gun, but it shoots very well. It's very accurate. And to me, you pull that trigger and it pops, and that's all there is to it. It doesn't have the best trigger, but it has, my Gen 5 Glock 19 has a better trigger than the gritty 43X. Now, the recoil on this gun, it's a 9mm. There's not much recoil. I get it, but there's less recoil on this Glock 19. Okay? 15 round capacity. How do you pick between the two? Well, I don't know. I can't give you which way you need to pick, but I can tell you this. If you are just looking for something that is super slim, that you are just only really going to conceal carry and you may take out to the range every now and then, the 43X is really a good gun. Minus the trigger. The trigger on this gun's not the best. This gun is not loaded. The trigger on this gun and that shoe right there just doesn't feel good. But the trigger on it, it's gritty. It's not the best. Okay? The trigger on the Glock 19 is better. It's not the best, but it's clear. It's definitely better. Definitely better. The texture on it's going to be the same. I do feel like just the thickness of the gun, getting a hand on it, feels better with the Glock 19. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say, but 15 rounds aftermarket. Shield Arms makes magazines too. I don't trust them. I've done over 400 rounds with the PSA Dagger magazine, and I haven't had any issues. And from day one, I couldn't load the 15th round, so I loaded 14 and let it sit for a couple weeks, and then I could load 15 rounds in this thing. Honestly, it's a game changer for the 43X. It still feels good in the hand. You're able to get a good purchase on it with your hands. It's just snappier, but it's thinner. If that's what you're going for, it's thinner, and you can get a comp for this gun, and I'm hearing people get comps, and it's shooting a lot better. It's not as snappy. Takes the recoil out of it. So maybe that's your route you want to go, but you're already spending quite a bit of money on this. Obviously, the Glock 19's a little bit pricier. But I will say this, keep this in mind. If you're looking for maybe even your first gun, right? And you're looking for something that you're probably going to keep for a while and you can customize, and you can use your magazines and other Glock platform pistols, PSA daggers. I mean, there's all sorts of variation of these magazines that you can use in the Glock 19, as well as there are some carbines that use Glock magazines. I mean, if you, honest to goodness, want a setup to where you're multi-pistol and you want a carbine setup, Keltec makes that rifle, the carbine that uses these magazines. I don't think you can go wrong with a Glock 19. I didn't buy a Glock 19 for the longest time because I thought everyone's got one. They're not very special. I don't see the hoo-ha about it, but shooting this gun and having this gun, I can see why people love the Glock 19 platform. So, I don't know. One thing I do want to show you I want to show you this though. So, I'm going to weigh these two, right? 1 pound, 9.3 ounces for your Glock 19. 1 pound, 4.7 ounces. Okay. I'm telling you that there is a difference in the weight. Obviously, the 43X, it's just a smaller gun. But smaller doesn't always mean better shooting wise. And so I've had people shoot the 43X and they're like, I'm good. I don't want to shoot anymore. And I've had people shoot the 19 and they're like, okay, like that's not too bad. I like it. So obviously there is a weight difference. These are empty. These are both empty. 1 pound, 9.3. 1 pound, 4.6. 4.7. This has the PSA 15 round that are in there. TLR 77, the right and optic. So, I can't make your decision for you, but I can educate you. And I can let you know that if you are truly looking for a gun that you're probably going to keep for a while, and that you can customize to your liking, you can still customize the 43X. There's still a lot of stuff out there that you can do. But I think as an overall great handgun that has multi-uses to it, I'm not knocking the 43X by any means. But your Glock 19, it's a workhorse that can be customized, that the parts are not very expensive, magazine compatibility. It's a workhorse. It's an absolute workhorse. So, keep that in mind. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Are you choosing your Glock 19 or are you choosing your 43X? Let me know. Obviously, you're going to spend a little bit more on your Glock 19, but I think it's kind of a better buy in today's world. So, keep that in mind. Holsters, all sorts of holster availability. You could even rock the TLR 1H bigger light on this thing. I do like the TLR 7A on this setup because I do conceal carry it. I don't really want the big light on there, so that's a plus. Like I said, the SCS is a direct mount on this gun. The holster compatibility, I mean, it's just, you can't beat a good Glock 19. Everyone's got them. They're not fancy. They're not. But they shoot and they chew up everything and they just work and they work well. Are there better buys out there? Absolutely. But if you're looking for something that's gonna last, gonna keep it. I could even say I don't have one in front of me and I want to get one. PSA Dagger. It's a Glock 19 clone. The PSA Dagger honestly is probably a better buy. It's a lot cheaper. It's the same magazines. Check them out. The only thing is there's not a store you can buy it from. You have to buy it online. Versus you can go into any store, any gun store, and you can find Glock 19s. I'm pretty sure nowadays you can find a lot of PSA Daggers in gun stores or used guns stores as well. So keep that in mind. But that's just my thought for the day. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Let me know your thoughts. And thank you for checking out the video. Please subscribe. I'm trying to hit that 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That'd be grateful for me. It helped me to be able to produce more content, get more stuff out to you guys. So just trying to do what I can do. Thanks, guys.